Okay, I thought I'd let you join me here because this is quite tricky. Basically, to get at this board properly, you need to take out this this shield. I think this is a DC to DC converter inside here. And you need to take this shield, which means you need to get to the other side of this board. So you've got to take out 4 screws, 2 here and 2 here, and that releases this metal plate. You've got to take the back nut off of the volume and squelch control, and you've got 3 screws to take off in here. So then that allows us to, and there's a little bit of sticky tape that always catches me out, so that allows this board to come off of this the processor board or the keypad board, whatever you want to call it. And now hopefully we should be able to know. You've got a ribbon cable connecting it here. You can see that just down here, nasty thing. So you need to pull, you need to be pulling the, in fact, I'm going to have to get the this little board here out as well. Yeah, let's just pop the I'll pull the on off button off if I can. Just got a little tiny screw here. And that's we'll release the volume pot. Sorry, the on-off switch. And the idea is to move the metal bracket, not the board, so you don't disturb this flex cable. So there we are. That's the frame out. It's a lot of work, these, but yeah, that now allows us access to the back of the board to get this piece off. That's got to come off in order to enable us to get the caps done in underneath. So I don't know, we might be able to wick it off. Probably easier to just fire the desoldering tool up, but yeah, you've got 4 connections on this. Depending what board revision you've got a bit of a botch wire to sort out as well. So I'll get that on the overhead camera and you can see it in a sec. Okay, let's get you in on the overhead camera. So the piece that I'm desoldering is this. So I've just done those 2 pieces. There's a bit in the back there which this would just about get. I'm probably going to need to use a bit of wick on that as well. Yeah, and you've also got one here. There's a little tiny bit of wire there, look, can you see that? Just connected. Let's see if I can focus that a bit better. There's a little tiny bodge wire that they put in here from this pad to the ground. So I need to make sure I don't suck that up with a solder sucker. And I think it should be about ready to come up. So let's see if I can get that lifted with a soldering iron maybe. Going to change tips on that. Let's get my normal tip. So you got this one at the back, which isn't quite desoldered. There we go. So that's that piece out the way. So then we've got to flip it over. Actually, no, we haven't got to flip it over. What we need to do now is take this this shield off the other side, because as I say, there is a couple caps inside there. So we need to come back here again, and we've got one more bit to desolder really, which is this one. And this one, which is already partially desoldered. Should fall through, hopefully. So this piece here should now come off to reveal and get it out of the way. It's a bit awkward. Looks like these wires have trapped in underneath. There we are. 2 more SMD electrolytics. So this is the next board to recap. We got a cluster of them. We got 2 underneath this load of cables here. So I'm going to have to cut that cable tie to get them out of the way. We've got the 2 here. We got 1 here. Coming over this side, we've got 3 here in a row and 2 electrolytics to do. Normal radio electrolytics. Now the problem with these is you can't get to these very well because these plastic connectors are in the way. So you can't get a soldering iron down there, and you certainly can't get any hot air because you melt the plastic connectors. So these plastic connectors have got to come off. They're a bit of a pain because they're not straight pins, they're sort of spiked. So let's get that desoldered a second. It's a double-sided board as well, so you need to give it a damn good wiggle in. Make sure all of the solder's gone, and this connector as well. Right, let's see if we can get them out, because they're sort of serrated. Yeah, see, they're not budging. I'm tempted to use just a little bit of hot air on that, and now I've got the majority of the solder off. If I use the hot air on this side of the board, hopefully it won't cause any damage to the other side, if you know what I mean. It won't melt the plastic. No, I need something better to grip them. I need the forceps, I think. Ow. This is one of these jobs where you really need 3 hands now. No, that's not really working. I don't want to heat it up any hotter because I'm going to melt the connectors. I mean, that one is moving, but I'm just going to have to struggle on and get them out. So let's change to the other camera so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm trying to get these out. So let's have a go at heating them a little bit. So the other problem is electrolyte gets trapped underneath these. No. Being particularly awkward, this one. They either come out or they don't, and this one's not going to, is it? Because I'm filming it, that's why. As I say, it's double-sided board, and they're like clinch pins as well. And that end one is just filled up, and it won't clear. So I'm going to have to resolder that one. I had a problem with one of these last time, and one of the pins came open circuit. I don't know if there's an easier way of getting these out, but I think we're free apart from that end one. So if I put a bit of pressure on that and just heat it with a soldering iron, it might be nice and come out for me. Ow. Or it might just get hot and burn my finger. Pretty sure it's just that pin there that's holding us up. Yeah. Yep. There we go. What a game that was, and that's stinking. Yeah, that's not nice. There's a lot of corrosion on there. That's one down. Okay, so again, I think it's just one pin holding this one in. I think it's that record pin on the end. Ow. Hot, hot, hot. There we go. What a game. But you could leave it in, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's better to try and get them out. Hopefully we're okay. We've not got any damaged pads, which I don't think we have. So now that lets me use the hot air to just remove those three. So we can also get this other board out of the way at the same time. I tell you what, these are a pain in the neck to work on. Right, hot air. turn that up a little bit. Let's go 370. Got the air a bit fierce. It's one. Two. Three. Right, any more that we can get off with the air without damaging anything? Let's turn that airflow down a little bit. Let's get this one out. Those two got this plastic piece, so I just need to put some foil around that. Let's get in a bit closer. I mean, you can see the muck already that's come off of these. Get the light down a bit better. There's a lot of muck and that on the board there, so quite a lot of making good to do. We've got a couple capacitors there, so let's whip those out while it's hot. Ow. Oh, it is hot. Okay, that was out. Okay, they're out. So it's a 220 at 10, and I think it's a 470 at 10, yeah. Cool, that was quite warm. Right, so we need to just put some protective foil around that. So I use this stuff, it's just foil tape. It's just to protect that that plastic connector at the back there, really. So let's peel a bit of that off. Stick that down there. Just going to protect the wires and the connector from the hot air. I'll also put a little bit over by this can to just keep the hot air away from that other plastic bit as well. Okay, so we can now take those two out with the hot air, hopefully. Let's get the camera up a little bit. Let's just go to the overhead camera, that's a bit better view for you. So I'm just going for these two here. 22 and a 10 at 35. It's unusual, I don't recollect seeing a 10 at 35 in there before. It's that one. And that one. There we go. Done. Right, so I've just got 3 more to get off now, and they're in underneath all this cluster here. So I might have to take them off with the soldering iron. Okay, because I've got some shielding in place. I'm just going to whip these 2 off. Both 47s. One. That one's wanting to explode, I think. Yeah, that one started lifting. So there we are. Just one more to remove on this board. So this one is very tricky. I think I'm going to try and walk this one off the board. So I'm just going to add a bit of fresh solder in. Doesn't look to be corroded, but it could be. So let's see if I can get this one to move. So I'll just put a bit of pressure on, going to heat it up. Off he comes. There we go. That's all of the caps off of this board. So as I say, it's a bit of a mess, especially in this area. This is the amplifier chip, I believe. So these caps in this area seem to suffer the most. You can see all the brown muck on the board. I think you can. Yeah, so doesn't look like we've got any pad damage though, which is good, but you can see all that brown stuff is the electrolyte coming out of it. So I've got to get that cleaned up, and then can start repopulating it and try to get it all back together. Fingers crossed. Okay, well, as you can see, if I can get that off the screen, I've taken the caps off now and I've cleaned the board up. There is some issues. If I can find a pointer. So we've got a bit of the solder mass breaking away here. It's not going to cause a major problem. The only problem is the solder is going to want to flood out onto this copper area. This is where that other capacitor's gone in, so I've managed to get all that tinned. The connector on both connectors, they're all tinned up nicely. Little bit of breakaway there, but again I don't think that's going to make it jump. So again, this is all the same ground plane here, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. A little bit of breakaway here, but again it's not going to cause us any problems. And up around here, these look fine, these pads, and just lifting the board over, the pads here also look okay. Bit of breakout there, but again that's a ground pad. And this transistor here did come off. This little tiny one here, when I was cleaning the board after I desoldered these two, this just got knocked off with the cotton bud. So I've put that one back on. So it's just a case now of reassembling and sticking some more capacitors on. So I'll do this first couple on camera. These are both 47s at 6 volts. Blob on there as well, because that's the same. So all I'm going to do is just tin the positive pad once again, which is there and there, and that's my caps just on the edge of the board, so let's pop that in. Just going to heat that, hopefully that'll just pull in on its own, but no, decided it's not going to. That's that one. Let's just solder the back of that one. I was going to do them both at the same time, but that's that one done. And the next one, as I say, same on these. The stripe is the positive. Straighten that up. Solder the back. If it will solder, please. Thank you. There we are. That's those two done. So just got to do the other one just in the back there, underneath this wiring loom. It's very dodgy to get into, as you can see. Okay, I'm going to do this this one here. This is where this bent thinner tip comes into its own, really. Is that side done? What's that one? Right, well, I'm going to get on and populate the rest of this, and join me again in a bit. Okay, well, I'm just soldering the two edge connectors back on. Well, not edge connectors, the two plug connectors, shall we say. Let's say these are double-sided, so you've got to make sure the solder goes right the way through. So that's okay. So I made that mistake once, I won't do it again. Right, this one's being particularly awkward. I need to catch that pin there if I can. Right, there we go. That's those connectors back on. We just need to check continuity to the other side now. Right, as you can see, it's going back together. Pretty much done. All the caps are in. There's only one that I didn't have, and that was this one here. Well, I say didn't have. I've got an SMD electrolytic. I've not got a tantalum. And that's 10 at 35. I've got 10 at 20 volts, but this is the DC to DC converter. And I'm not sure what voltage has come out of this, so I'd rather err on the side of caution and put a 35 back in there. So I'm going to have to order some up if they've got them. If they haven't got them in stock, then it'll go back with this one in it, which isn't a problem. I'll say these are good quality caps. I think that's Panasonic, 105 degree rated. I mean, I could have done the whole radio with these really, but tantalums are just that little bit longer lifetime, and they never ever leak. That's the beauty of the tantalums. They won't leak. They just go pop. So they don't leak. So what I want to try and do now is get it back to some sort of usable state, because I want to test the voltages around the LED, because the customer wants me to change the LED, which is this little tiny green one in here. So I want to put like a super bright green in there, but with a diffused lens if I can find one. So that's one. I think it's 6 volts, but I just want to double check. So I'm going to temporarily put it all back together and just get that voltage. Well, I don't know if you can hear, but you should be able to. It's working. Oh! I've just got it cobbled together at the moment. As I say, there's no aerial attached to it. It's not even an aerial connector. So I just thought I'd try just having a look to see if it was working and measure the LED. I'd say there's no aerial connected whatsoever, not even an aerial jack.
The researchers found that the overall brain size in infected people had shrunk by up to 2%, and there were losses in grey matter in the parts of the brain.
Yeah, so the aerial's here.
Found it harder to perform complex mental
So if I grab hold of that.
The researchers don't know if the changes are permanent, but they point out that the brain does have the ability to heal itself, and they hope to scan the participants again.
And Lincolnshire police say they are investigating the
that
death
of
of
working.
a 3-month-old
What a
baby
relief.
following an incident involving a dog last night. A 40-year-old man arrested on charge of a dog which was out of control.
Fiji, thank you. Well, the pummeling of Ukraine continues. Russia is making it. Kiev and country.
So there you are. That's enough hairy holding it all together. But that is working, although you wouldn't think it, would you? So the LED is 6 volts. That was the reason for putting it back together temporarily. So I need to order myself up a 6-volt LED, and I'll see if I can get the I'll see if I can get a better well, a tantalum for that 10 microfarad at 35 volts. Right, well, we're on another day because I wanted to fit an SMD tantalum, and I didn't have any 10 microfarad 35 volt tantalum, so I've had to order some in. These are a little bit big, but to be honest, that's all I can get. I can't get a smaller case size. And the other thing is, the owner wanted me to change the LED, which I've done. I don't think these are a lot brighter. I mean, this is the ones I've gone with. Again, it was a bit of a head scratcher trying to work out which one to get. I've got two lots, and these are the brighter of the two. These are RS. You just don't see the number on there. Look, 180 8451. So I'm just in the process now of just putting it all back together, which is a complete opposite of taking it apart. So I'm not going to film that, but I will get it all back together, and join me and we'll have a test of it.